What's going on, people? Welcome to Blue 9 Productions. Brandin Cooks just got traded, and many Pats fans think this is an awful move since it feels like every single good Pats player has been leaving this offseason. But calm down here. This is actually one of those genius Bill Belichick moves that takes a while to register. I think Cooks being traded will help the Pats way more than many fans and analysts think right now. Let's get into the nuances of this trade. There are three major points that I really want to address here, but before we get started, I just want to say that if you enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to get notifications whenever we upload. Let's get right into it then. So first of all, Brandin Cooks would be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this upcoming 2018 season. Judging from how much free agent wide receivers have been making this offseason, it would be a pretty safe bet to say that some team desperate for a wide receiver would offer him top 5 wide receiver money, maybe even top 3 money. And there's simply no way that Belichick would match any of those offers. So it's more than likely that Cooks would have been on his way out at the end of the season anyways. Additionally, Cooks' cap space last year was a mere $800K, whereas this year it would have been $8 million. So he saved nearly $7 million in cap space right there. And just as a side note, I want to point out that Bill Belichick had the same issue last year with Jimmy G. And instead of trading for a first-round pick and trying to negotiate a contract, he decided to wait and was eventually forced to settle for a second-round pick from the 49ers. Belichick probably didn't want to repeat that same mistake this year with Cooks, so he pulled the trigger and essentially flipped Cooks for a first-round pick instead of losing him for nothing. Alright, point number 2. The additional pick allows the Patriots to properly focus on building their defense through the draft. With veteran presences throughout the locker room, like Hightower, the McCourty twins, etc., the Patriots can take a lot of liberties with developing a young and talented defensive squad. Defense should be our number one priority in this draft because, after all, what lost us the Super Bowl, right? Personally, my number one match in the first round for the Pats is Rashaan Evans, who's a linebacker out of Alabama. He's one of those rare four-way players, meaning he can pass rush, run support, play good man coverage, and play sound zone coverage, all fairly effectively. Though his wrapping technique while tackling could use some work, it can be improved with proper training under Bill Belichick, and he would make an amazing addition to the team. A lot of mocks I've seen have him going around the late 20s, so trading up to the early 20s in 23 gives us an opportunity to draft him for sure. This also frees up pick 31 for a cornerback, with which I'd like to see us get Isaiah Oliver out of Colorado. Isaiah plays excellent man coverage, which definitely fills a void that Butler's departure left. At 43, we also now have space to draft Lorenzo Carter, a linebacker/defensive end out of Georgia. This guy is super athletic and is an amazing pass rusher, giving us some much-needed edge pressure. Alright, so the third point I want to address is that I've seen a lot of talk and a lot of knee-jerk reactions about us potentially targeting OBJ. And I really hope these aren't true, because bringing in OBJ for a season poses the same exact issues that keeping Cooks this season would have posed. OBJ is a free agent after the 2018 season, just like Cooks, and keeping him would be straight up impossible, considering he's looking for a QB money, even more money than Brandin Cooks. And giving up 2 first-rounders for 1 year of OBJ simply isn't worth it, especially when defense was our problem. I've heard rumors of us potentially trading up for Josh Rosen or Baker Mayfield as well. And while I wouldn't mind if that happened, I just don't think it's logistically possible since the 23rd and 31st pick would definitely not be enough to move up into the top 5 of this draft, which is where I think both of those quarterbacks will go. Instead, I'd like to see us be a little patient and grab a second-tier quarterback around the 3rd round, such as Mike White or Kyle Lauletta, and let them develop for a year or 2 years under Brady and Belichick. Well, that was my take on the Brandin Cooks trade, and if you enjoyed listening to this quick little podcast, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. If you didn't like this video, I suggest hitting that dislike button twice so you can really doubly dislike this video. Make a bold, assertive statement there. Alright, so thanks for watching and go Pats.